What's good, y'all? It's the most inconsistent YouTuber of all time, back at it with another video. Now, I know it's been 2 years since I made a video like this, but a lot has changed in the underground since I made that video talking about what you should and shouldn't do in this scene if you want to go up or not. And I feel like ever since the 2020s, there has been a wave of just, how do I put this? I think ever since the year 2020, social media has had the biggest influence on how music is consumed by the general audience. And I guess you could argue that like it's always been that, but I feel like at a period of time, even like I'd say even before 2020, around like 2019 and 2018 and even like the 2016 wave and shit like that, I feel like it was a much more viable option for people to blow up or like, you know, see success just purely off the music. While nowadays, I feel like the three key things that every artist should prioritize if they want to go up is SoundCloud, Instagram, and TikTok. Nowadays, I know in countless videos, everybody's saying the same thing. Oh, you need to learn how to market. You need to learn how to market yourself better. Yeah. But then nobody ever dives deep into, you know, how you should market or how you should go about promoting yourself on these apps. So now you got hella artists sitting there just screen recording their song, posting it on SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, what the fuck, but posting it on different social media apps like TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube Shorts. I've been seeing a lot of that on YouTube Shorts recently. And because you're doing basic shit like that, you're not really grabbing the audience's attention or really giving them a reason to stay, if you know what I mean. That's why in this video, I'm gonna be giving you guys 3 different ways on how to promote yourself on TikTok. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. I know I said I was the most inconsistent YouTuber in the beginning, but that's like partially true and partially not true. I do go live here on YouTube like a lot, almost every weekend really, and I do go live on Twitch, so if you guys want to follow me over there too, if you want to tap into the streams, go ahead. But outside of all of that, if you want to see more videos like this, go follow up my SoundCloud. If you didn't already know or weren't able to tell, I make my own music as well, hence why I'm able to give you guys, you know, advice like this, because I can relate to you guys on, you know, shit like this. I remember when I was first starting out a couple years ago, it was very annoying on how to promote myself, and if I knew some of these tips or like, you know, certain shit on how to work with TikTok, I think I would have been a lot better in my opinion. But outside of all that, let's get straight into the video. Now, a quick disclaimer, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips as I said in the beginning, but the one thing that I want to establish about TikTok before going in is that it really depends all about what niche you're in. Let me try to provide you guys with an example, right? So before I started making music and before I was like, you know, really serious about content, back in 2022, when I first had my TikTok account, I used to be a part of Anime Talk or Annie Talk. You know, that bullshit community with all the racial slurs and all that. Yeah, I used to be a part of that, but I was running up decent numbers because I was, you know, consistently posting different shit about anime almost every single day. However, once I switched up my niche to, you know, just posting normal videos about my life, the numbers did dwindle down a bit, but it picked back up slowly. And then when I switched over to, you know, posting about my music, the same thing would end up happening, and I remember feeling demotivated and talking to one of my boys Credo about it. And I remember him telling me that once you switch up your niche, right, because the For You page was pushing those types of videos that you posted when you was posting about anime videos, once you switched up to like underground shit and promoting your music, your For You page, like, the algorithm wasn't putting you on people's For You page because that's what the algorithm recognized you as. So I say this to kind of establish the point that whatever method you pick, stick to it. If you have to make a new account, right? Let's say you didn't have a TikTok account, but you have a personal account. If you have to make a new account, I recommend that you make a new account and then run up that account from there. I know personal friends that did this and it worked for them. My buddy Iyagi, shout out to him. It's been working for him on TikTok, right? He has 2 accounts: his personal account where he posts his girlfriend and shit like that, and then he has his music account where he's posting about the music and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the numbers, right, even his trailers do good on there. I'm pretty sure his backpack trailer got 14k views on TikTok just because he posted it on the right account. Now, with that disclaimer in mind, please keep that noted as we enter in the first tip of this video, which is going to be the basic format method, or as I like to call it, the kind of standard promo method. You know, these are the videos where it's like the rapper's in the background, he's kind of, you know, lip syncing to the song with a caption over it. Some rappers that I know that consistently do this would be Iyagi, Trendstar, and 6Kills. All of these rappers that I just listed consistently post and has seen pretty good or even amazing growth in terms of TikTok following, Instagram following, and SoundCloud following. Now, the pros of this method would be that an identity is formed, which allows the audience to kind of get a better glimpse into your personality. And, you know, it can also lead to some pretty iconic moments being built that your fans may look back on. A big example of this, in my opinion, would probably be Che. Now, Che was consistently posting on TikTok, you know, new snippets, new trailers, trailers, like, even just some funny shit that he would post here and there. And a lot of his fans have screen recorded and saved those moments from back in the day as kind of like fond memories to look back on. Stuff like this makes the audience feel special and feel proud for sticking around, because now they're able to look back on when you were smaller and then look into like when you end up blowing up, or end up branching off into the mainstream, or just becoming a bigger artist in general. Your audience is gonna feel a lot more proud because they were with you when you were posting TikToks in your bathroom or in your bedroom just trying to promote yourself, and now that they're able to see you come up, it makes them feel proud for sticking around in the first place. Now, some cons of this method that well, it's not really some cons, it's mainly one con that I noticed, but in my opinion, the biggest con of this method would probably be the fact that because so many people do this, coming up with original captions or original and intriguing captions can be quite difficult. However, I don't think that this is much of a problem in my opinion, because I'm gonna use one of the examples that I said before. My buddy Iyagi, again, shout out to him, because throughout this whole year, ever since the year started, even like at the end of last year, he was promoting himself almost every day on TikTok. Like, he was genuinely going crazy at this shit. And in this year alone, he went up from 200 and he flew past 300, and I'm pretty sure this nigga's sitting around like 420 or like 424 followers on SoundCloud right now. And since then, his Instagram has taken off. He's seen countless growth on his Instagram. He's seen growth on his TikTok, right? His TikTok ran up 1,000 followers, and I think once you run up your first 1,000 on TikTok, it begins to become a lot more easier and you become a lot more motivated to keep on posting. So I'd keep that in mind if you think that this method is kind of invalid due to the con that I said beforehand. But nevertheless, on to the next one. Now for this next one, I think that this one's gonna have to go to promotion through memes, or better yet, promotion through funny content, if you know what I mean. An example of what I mean by this would be the 2024 gift talk wave, where people were posting BS captions with a funny gif in the background, and the music 9 times out of 10 was some underground shit, or it was some music in the background, if you know what I mean. Some examples of people who do this would be Kaya, Slumbers, and then me back in 2024. I remember I used to do the gift talk method and post my song in the back with some memes, right? And it ended up helping me run up some decent numbers on one of my old songs, Vision. Now, I think that the biggest pro with all of this is the fact that you're providing your audience with value. The way you reel anybody to be on your side is by giving them value, right? If you want somebody to buy your product, the product has to be useful to them. That's like business 101. That's like the most basic thing. And nowadays, unfortunately, because of how evolved the climate has been, nobody's just looking for just the music. Like, your music has to be insanely hard, right? Your music has to be like one of the best things that they've ever heard for them to just tune in for the music. However, people will follow you if you have something attached to it. Hence why doing promo is one of the key things and key elements into blowing up nowadays. Because think about it like this, right? If I was to show you my music and just my music alone, but then I show you my music and then provide something with a little bit of humor, I show you something with funny alongside of it, right? Are you more willing to go with the thing that gives you only one thing, or the thing that gives you two things, right? Because if I just show you my music, you're not really going to tap into the music. However, because I provided you with something alongside of it, right? Like, I'm asking you to fuck with my music, right? So the least I can do is give you something like a lab, or give you something like some info, or I could help you out in some type of way. And I think that this method is one of my favorite methods in my opinion, hence why I used to spam it OD. Back in the day, I used to post 3 fucking gift talk videos every single day, because of how I actually thought that this was a pretty good thing, and it helped me run up decent numbers on my songs, because since I was giving them value, it gave people a reason to want to come back and tap into me more and more. Now, the only 2 cons that I could think of when it comes to this method would probably be the fact that it's going to take up a lot of storage on your phone. You're going to be recording GIFs and memes 24/7. And then the second thing is you actually have to be funny. Please don't be posting bullshit with, your song in the background, or like some BS meme where it's like, POV, you found out this song comes out right. Like, no, don't do that. That method is kind of patched in 2022. I'm sorry. Like, I tried it. It doesn't work. But, if you subtly promote it with if you actually use some funny shit and it's like a subtle promo rather than a blatant in your face promo, but it's just a meme in the back, yeah, you know, that could work. Something that I want to talk about is just how memes in general, or just humor in general, helps artists grow nowadays, right? Now, 2025, I know I barely posted, right? But I was still active on SoundCloud. I was still actively dropping, posting trailers, things of that nature, right? I was still working on the music side of things. And, you know, it gets obvious that I'm tapped into this underground scene, but memes have helped like countless artists blow up. The main two artists that I think of when I think of how memes have helped them would be Lost K1, Jugmon Slat, and then the rest of Rain. The jokes targeted at them all throughout last year really helped put those two on the map, and even had them like you know, it helped them put them in, you know, song wars, hosting pages. Other prods was trying to work with them, like, nigga, it was helping them get their name out there more and more, because since their name was getting out there, you know, naturally you gonna talk about them, we gonna talk about the collective as well, and then the whole collective was eating good, you feel me? So I think that if you're having doubts about the method of just like memes or just humor in general, and it may come off as cheap, the one thing that I remember being told like a couple years ago was the fact that any publicity is good publicity, right? And to an extent, I think it's true, right? Because you don't want to have bad publicity in the underground, especially when you're first starting out, right? However, there's levels to bad publicity. There's bad publicity, and then there's like bad publicity, like terrible publicity, if you know what I'm like getting at here. But if the publicity is just, you know, a couple jokes on you, I think the best thing that you can do is embrace it. Or like, you know, just jokes in general. It doesn't even have to be on you. Jokes in general and humor in general is such a great way to pioneer a good future as a rapper. And overall, I think it's a good way to kind of set yourself for success in this scene and to kind of take yourself further beyond this scene. Nevertheless though, moving on to our third and our final tip, this is going to have to go to promotion through showing your music creative process. Now, an example of this would probably be, you know, recording yourself on BandLab, or recording yourself on FL Studio or Pro Tools or Ableton. No shade to any of y'all that use those things, of course, but just overall, recording yourself while you're making music is something that people actually tune into nowadays. I mentioned this in my previous video where I talked about how live cookups are a really useful tactic to help yourself go, or like kind of blow up in this scene. But to reestablish that point, yeah, Jace, Ecstasy, Rex nowadays, right? There's plenty of people that bigger names that do this, but some smaller artists that I've seen who have been doing this in this more like, you know, niche underground scene would be Lil Prey and then Broncho. Now, a pro that I've seen because of this, right? Like, let me not say because of this, but a pro I've seen like from this method would be the fact that I think this is one of the most guaranteed ways to get people to watch your video. And this is due to the fact that people love seeing the creative process of anything, which is why like cookups or even just cooking videos, like literally cooking food, videos like these do really well because people like sitting through and watching art being made, right? People like sitting through watching people draw, paint, record, sculpt, cook, anything. People love to sit there and watch the process that goes into making shit because it can be used as background noise, or it can be used as inspiration, or even like it's even educational. Like I remember back in the day I used to watch Jace's cookups. I've taken a lot of sauce that he used to do from his cookups, right? He taught me how to use a Fruity Love filter. He taught me how to use Eliminator. He taught me how to, like, I used to see how he would mix, how he would use EQ. Like, you know, you can end up learning a lot and apply it. Like, people end up learning a lot from this kind of shit and apply it to themselves, and that ties into point 2 of what I was talking about, of how you need to provide value to the audience, or provide value to your fan base to get them to want to keep coming in, keep clicking, and keep looking for more content from you. Now, the only major con that I've seen from this, right, and this is from my personal experience, would be when it comes to screen recording on FL Studio, right? Since depending on what you're on, if you're on a laptop, if you're on a shitty laptop, a good laptop, or if you're on a full setup or desktop, it can be a little bit difficult because I found myself struggling to like screen record or live stream, or even just share my recording process to my friends on FL Studio for like years. I only recently found out how to do it, but even now, right, because I'm on a laptop, it could be a little laggy for me. And I think that to keep in mind that, you know, sometimes if you're on FL Studio, it may lag, it may spike, you know, it may not be the most smoothest experience ever, if you understand what I'm getting at here. Whereas if you're on BandLab, you know, all you do is just swipe down and press the screen record button, and then bam, you're showing off your process and how you make music. But outside of all of that, I still think this is a pretty good method, and I would recommend for people to also use this as well. With that being said though, to conclude this entire video and wrap this up, to reestablish my point from earlier, it is important that you pick one of these and you remain consistent, right? I think consistency and picking one niche and focusing on that one niche is a really good way to kind of take yourself up on just kind of take yourself up on any platform, whether you do music or you just genuinely do content. I think those are the two ways to genuinely get yourself up there. And I feel like once you start to learn your audience, or once you start to build an audience, I think it's important to kind of study your audience, you know? For instance, what type of music did they like, right? When you like, what song did the best, right? What song did the best on TikTok? What song had the most views, likes, comments, plays, what type? Like, that's how you understand what your audience begins to like. And then a fun fact about TikTok is that you're actually able to see when your viewers are most active online. Now, I'm not sure if this is fully, like, you know, if this fully works or not, but I've tried it. It's worked for me. I've done not phenomenally better because, you know, my TikTok account is still kind of in the gutter because, you know, I fucked up with the niche thing, like I said in the beginning of the video. But outside of that, it does seem to be a pretty useful tool. And it can help you develop a schedule of when you want to post, what days you think are best for you to post, and overall help you come up with a plan on how you want to post overall. With that being said though, comment down below if you liked the video, leave a like, share, subscribe. Let me know what any other ideas or questions you may have with this. You know, share your questions and concerns with each other. Maybe you guys have any other tips or tricks that I might not have discussed inside of this video. But with that being said, if you guys enjoy, be sure to subscribe, like for more. I do again apologize for my inconsistency with YouTube. This is a truthful apology. I've been a lot more focused on the not YouTube, but the SoundCloud side of things and the music side of things, recording almost every weekend. I started dropping consistently once more, even better than before. I also want to take this to kind of thank you guys for, you know, helping me grow. We've grown, not exponentially, but we've grown like in a very good and constant rate, and I've seen the growth on my songs, and I just want to say thank you guys. You know, I decided to, you know, come back, actually take this YouTube shit for real seriously, you know, and balance it. I'm gonna do everything in my power to try to balance it. But with that being said, be sure to follow me on SoundCloud, right? I'm on all plats, so tap into the music as well on Spotify and Apple Music, even on YouTube. Yeah, I have all my songs are on my channel as well. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe for more. And oh yeah, I have a tape coming out on July 26th, so be sure to tap in for that, right? You know, follow me on Instagram if you want to get into contact with me or work, or like, you know, you want me to hit up a beat or you want to feature. But with that being said, I love y'all for sticking through to the end, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.